What's going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of Plus Club on Tasty Loot Gaming. Plus Club, in case you don't know, is a show where we talk about the games that we were given for free on PlayStation Plus every month. We play them throughout the month, and then we talk about it at the very end of the month, which is today. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And for this Plus Club, we played throughout this month Broforce and galak-z. Hopefully you guys were able to play them as well. If you weren't, stick around. We're going to talk about them. Probably not going to have any spoilers because I don't think we beat either of them.
No.
But let's jump into it. So let's talk about galak-z. galak-z is a storyline driven, like, Gradius type game. 2D
kind of
bullet hell type game.
It's like a space roguelike.
Yeah.
As a lot of people word it that way, I guess. So.
I see a lot of elements that kind of remind me of those old bullet hell games too.
Yeah.
But yeah, what did you think of it? How much did you play of it? Like, how in time?
Less than an hour, to be honest.
Less than an hour?
I did actually want to play this. So I mean, it wasn't like I had a bad feeling about it before I hopped into it. I went in there with positive reinforcement, and I was actually kind of let down.
Wow.
Now, I didn't hate this game. I think the art style, though not my thing, I can definitely appreciate. It looked good. Dialogue was in the game. The voice acting wasn't completely terrible. I have heard that it gets a little repetitious, but I didn't get that far. My biggest problem with the game is I don't like the controls at all.
Really?
It's the same problem I had. I wanted to play Dragonfin Soup back on a previous episode of Plus Club, and that was my problem with that game, was controls, because I felt like I really just couldn't play the game. And I'm sure that if I played enough of galak-z or Dragonfin Soup, I would get into it. But I have so many games, I don't want to sit there and get accustomed to something like that.
Well, Dragonfin Soup was interesting because I appreciate everything about it, but the playability was such a fucking wall for me to try and get around. I'm actually really surprised about this, though, because I thought out of both these games and out of all of us, you'd probably like this game more out of anybody, because you've played more of these type of games through our history of gaming. I've always kind of strayed away from stuff like this, so it's really surprising. But you just don't like the way the game plays. But
it's not even the button configuration as much as I don't feel like I have a lot of control over my movement when I'm playing. And this is obviously just my issue. I've heard a lot of positive things about this game from people, so people like this game. I just personally, it's not something I want to sit down and I want to play. The idea, I know there's upgrades later, and I like that you have hit points and a shield, and if you can get your shield back up, you won't lose health type thing. And I like the roguelike element to it, to where if you do die, you lose all your money and you got to just go again. Really cool elements. I mean, Rogue Legacy, I love that game, and it's very similar in that regard.
Rogue Legacy is fucking awesome.
I don't know, this one just didn't bite me, I guess.
So I actually liked the game. I didn't love it, but I liked it. A couple things I liked about it a lot is I do think the combat is fun. One of the things I really enjoy about it, and I think something you didn't like about it, is the physics. The game has really interesting space physics. So if you thrust forward and let go, you'll keep going in perpetual motion. When you blow up enemies, their explosions will actually throw your ship. And these are things that I thought were kind of interesting, even though a little chaotic in my opinion.
Yeah.
It felt original in my opinion. It felt like a lot of games like this, they don't feel the way this one does. I do agree that the controls are a little encumbersome in how many things you got to be hitting while playing, but it wasn't too big of a deal for me. I thought the combat was fun, though. I like looping around and hitting my brakes and shooting, and the lock-on systems. But and it's interesting too that when you say it's like a rogue type game, or whatever, because even on the map, as you go through the level, it starts putting these squares showing you ways you can go and stuff like that, like a map. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed it. I don't know if I'll continue playing it. One thing I didn't like about the game, though, is and I did like about it, is the art style. Reminds me of the Esurance commercials, kind of, but obviously thematically based off of like 1970s anime, like Harlock Saga.
It does have a Flash cartoon feel to it.
Yeah, and I like the style, but I don't like the way it was done. I like the copying of Japanese space pirate animes, but I don't like how like weird and 3D and like just plain it looked.
Yeah, I think if it would have been hand drawn, it probably would look a lot better. But their last game has a similar look to it.
What was the last game?
Skulls of the Shogun.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wasn't a big fan of that
There's
game.
on the back of a ship's one of the skulls.
That's funny.
Yeah, and I actually really like that game. So.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, it's a turn-based tactical game. So
I couldn't get into it for some reason. But one thing about the art style I did like though is it's a small thing, but I like small things. Is when you're flying around and you're shooting stuff like that, or when you boost, your guy in the bottom left corner will actually react to what's happening.
Very
and it kind of
Wolfenstein-esque.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or Doom or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was kind of cool to see like when you're boosting, all of a sudden he's like shaking and stuff. It kind of added to the immersion. You're kind of seeing the character react as you're playing.
Yeah.
And kind of added life to the game. I got in a little bit, and I like the way the upgrades work. You essentially get resources, and you can buy new upgrades and switch them out. But then at the same time, in the levels, you can also find like the very Gradius type upgrades that change the way your gun shoots and stuff like that. So it's kind of a cool hybrid, in my opinion. But yeah, overall, I mean, I liked it. I don't, like I said, I don't think I'm gonna revisit though. Like, we played it for this month. I feel like I could just kind of put it aside now and kind of suggest it to people who maybe are into rogue games or the old bullet hell type games. I mean, like, if you're into those games, I would totally tell you about it. Anyone else, I don't think I'd ever mention this game.
Now, this is kind of hard sell, I think, to most people, unless they're looking for this. Maybe they like the company who makes the game, like you said. You know, people who are into roguelikes or bullet hell games. Otherwise, I don't think the everyday gamer is going to be necessarily into this one.
You said this game's popular, though? Like, people like it?
I remember when we were looking up the Plus games last month, and people found out that this game's coming out, they were more excited for this than they were Broforce.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, well, I guess that makes sense. I feel like the people who would like this game are going to really like it.
Yeah.
It's very niche. It's very much for a specific type of gamer, which I can appreciate. It adds to the diversity of games, and, you know, not for everybody. But yeah, liked it. A little underwhelmed.
Yeah.
Disappointed.
I wouldn't play it again. Yeah, I just realized while playing it that I was just like, I could be playing something else I enjoy more. So. Yeah,
well, that's me with a lot of games, especially with the Division and just hitting 30. I'm like, I need to fucking continue that. Also, completely unrelated, it's funny, one of the last safe houses in the Division is the Ubisoft headquarters. You go in there and it shows like Grow Home on the wall, and like there's a Ubisoft thing on the wall and stuff like that. I'm like, that's a funny Easter egg.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's actually like their headquarters in real life in New York.
Just have to look it up.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
But anyway, off topic, I know. Did you guys play galak-z? What'd you think about it? Are you interested in playing it? Let us know. The second game we played this month was Broforce, a game that actually I've played prior to this, a free version on Steam. I don't know if it's offered on PS4. I don't think it is. Really funny anecdote about that is on Pirate Bay, when people were going on there to download Broforce when it first came out, the people who actually made the game, Devolver, I think their name is, something like that. They actually went on there and were like, "Hey guys, we appreciate you guys want to play our game that bad, but at the same time, like, you know, we kind of like you to buy the game, but we actually made a free to play version of Broforce if you actually wanted to try it out and maybe buy it afterwards." So that was kind of a funny and progressive way for them to kind of go, "Hey, you know, piracy happens. We don't like it, but let's kind of be cool about it and see if people will."
Yeah, and I don't want to turn this too much into a conversation about the piracy, but the one thing you always will see in those kind of stories is people always complain that they never get to try the games, because that used to be a thing. You used to be able to download a demo or play a timed demo of the game.
Yeah, you pay for demos.
And you can't, and so people don't want to invest in something that they're not sure of, and I mean, I get the mentality, so.
Yeah. So that was kind of neat, but yeah, so I played that free-to-play version. It was fun then. So jumping forward, we played Broforce. I probably put about 2-3 hours into it. I didn't even say how much time I put into the last game. But whatever. And overall, I really liked it.
Yeah.
I think it's really fun. Super chaotic. These are the same guys who make Hotline Miami. So they're really into high octane gore and violence and just chaos. This game does not take itself serious in any way. It parodies action stars of the 90s and even up until 2000s, it seems like, with this one. And in case you didn't play it, it is a 2D perspective, side-scrolling Contra-esque game where you go from left to right shooting enemies and then essentially jumping on a helicopter, kind of like in Sonic. You run through the end goal.
Yeah.
You jump on the helicopter, you leave, and you just keep doing that over and over and over again. It has multiplayer. We actually didn't play it together, but yeah. What did you think of it?
I did like this one. I don't know I would play it all the time, but if I was just like, I don't know what I want to do, I think this would be a game I would.
When the levels are like
they're
bite-sized, yeah.
I didn't get too far. I got the first 3 or 4 zones knocked out. What I appreciate most about this game, besides like these guys are ridiculously good at pixel physics.
Yeah,
it's really weird. All the characters are vastly different.
Oh yeah, they're way different.
I mean, there are characters, as soon as I get them, I'm like, shit. Or I get one, I'm like, oh my god, okay, thank you.
What's your favorite guy?
Depending on the situation, I think like Blade.
Blade's my favorite.
Is amazing.
Yeah.
I also think Bro in Black. Though the knockback kind of sucks. That weapon is stupid strong. It kills
just blows everything
up. Ones I'm not a big fan of. I'm not a big fan of Terminator. The wind up in a game where like someone shoots you and you just die.
Yeah.
Is complete disadvantage, and then the gun pushes you backwards.
Yep.
The only thing that's cool about him is when you use your grenade and turn into the Terminator. I also don't like. I think it's MacGyver.
Yeah, you and Josh didn't like MacGyver. I like him.
In situations, like, I did like him. And I just wish there was a guy that could, like, tag you for this one little thing I need you to be here for. And But, like, just the fighting aspect.
Well, I think that's kind of the beauty of the game is the forced variety.
Oh, yeah.
Is always, like, that's the live system or the amount of times you can die is the bros you have at the time. I did like MacGyver because he's so different than the other characters that he actually makes you slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
But I like that you can put his bombs on the ground under people and blow out the ground and stuff like that. You can get creative with the way he plays. Blade's my favorite, though, just because you can just run through, slashing people up, and then you can do this special and fly at people.
Yeah.
I really like the Chuck Norris one. I think it's supposed to be like Walker, Texas Ranger or some shit. His shotgun is a shitload of damage and goes through terrain really fast. So with him, you're just like just flying through. The other ones are all, they're all pretty much the same.
Well, like Judge Dredd, his gun's cheating, plain and simple.
Yeah.
I was fighting the helicopter boss. I think it's the first or second boss in the game. I can't remember.
It's the first one.
And I just like stood underneath the one thing it couldn't destroy, and I just kept shooting. And every time I flew by, the bullets just homed in.
Oh, really?
I was like, "This is stupid."
Yeah, he's some dude who I think I was using MacGyver, and I just kept throwing the bombs over there and just blowing it up until it blew up.
And then I barely got a chance to try him, but RoboCop, the gun you can hold and charge it, and then just like rapid fire the entire clip out. It's pretty cool because it'll go right through terrain and hit the guy. So. Slow though. His super is stupid overpowered though. You literally
what is it again?
It locks onto people, and you actually like move the cursor, and then when time runs out, he shoots and the bullet goes like this through all of them. So
I don't remember that. I must use them like briefly. What do you think about the terrain being destructible? Because I think it's actually kind of a neat gameplay element.
Actually, I think, like you said, gameplay element. It allows you to use it for tactical reasons, which I think is great. The cannon boss that shoots the dynamite dudes out of it. Yeah. I beat him because I destroyed the ground under him and he fell off the map.
Oh, really?
That's how I won. Yeah.
That's funny. No, I shot him until he died. That's the thing that's cool, though, is like in a game where you should just be running from left to right and shooting things, you can kind of get creative with your approach on certain situations. Take different routes, create your own routes. it also adds to the chaos of the game because the terrain is changing constantly based off explosions that will kill you if you're too close, or I don't know. It's constantly changing. And the biggest word I can think of is chaos when I think of this game, and with fucking Hotline Miami, they're both super chaotic games.
I was gonna say these guys are really good at making controlled chaos games. So,
and really bite-sized form, like I said before, or like we said before, because this game you can hop in and play one level in like a minute if you ran through it fast enough.
I think the longest it took me to beat a level was 3.5 minutes. So
yeah. And just like Hotline Miami, you're literally run in and fucking. The only reason it's taking a long time is because you're dying
over and over.
Yeah, otherwise it should fly by. But yeah, overall, I really enjoy this game. I want to play it more. I would suggest it to really anyone who likes just crazy mayhem in games, shooting stuff. Anyone who likes Contra, this is right up your alley.
I'll say if you're into throwback,
yeah, definitely. The art style's cool. Mm-hmm. As simple as it is, it's fun. Doesn't take itself serious. The humor's there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good game. I would definitely play it again.
Yeah, I'm with you. That I would suggest this to probably about like 95% of people.
Yeah,
so a very
easily.
Like, small handful of people, and they're probably gonna be people who are too young to know what the hell Contra is.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you can almost use it as introductory. Like, oh, you liked Broforce? You could always go back and try Contra.
Metal Slug, Contra,
definitely.
Stuff like that. No, this game's great. I think everyone should try it a little bit. I think you'd be surprised on how hard it is to kind of stop playing. I shut it off because I was playing before we did this. I literally this is fresh on my mind right now. It's the only reason I stopped. Otherwise, because it's so bite-sized and you can just like kind of do it. When you fail, you don't lose a lot.
Yeah.
You just get to try that little section again. So.
Yeah, the flow of the game is almost goes down way too smooth because you just keep fucking mindlessly just going at it, and you're just like, that's funny. Oh, that was cool. Oh, and then you just keep, and the variety constantly changing the characters, stuff like that. The game has almost taken the Call of Duty approach and just is constantly, there's something new happening constantly, so you're always just kind of like forgetting about the progression. You're just fucking going at it.
It seems like you guys really realize that we are in a culture of instant gratification.
Short attention spans, instant gratification for sure. So that's definitely what it caters to.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, we both liked it.
Yes.
We would suggest it to most people. Did you guys play it? Let us know in the comments below. Are you interested in playing it? If you didn't play it, let us know. But I think it's going to do it for this episode of Plus Club on Tastily Gaming. We don't know the games for
as of recording
PlayStation Plus as of recording this. We'll find that out, and we will let you know as soon as possible. But as always, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Make sure to like and subscribe if you did. Check out our other episodes. We got a shitload of them. Check us out on Tumblr, Twitter, Tastily Gaming. Check us out on Twitch, Sleep Division. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And make sure to come back tomorrow for Loot Chest. Until then, we'll see you later. Take it easy, guys.